the first layer. Let me just clean this up a little bit. There we go. Welcome back to the first layer. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've been here. The first week I had an excruciating migraine. It just killed me. Last week I was out on a photo shoot all weekend, and I got back just before showtime. And by the time I brought everything in, showtime was over. So I apologize for that. I was hoping to be back in time to do a show last week, but we're here this week. Let's talk about some 3D printing problems. First and foremost, what I want to do is I want to show you guys this. This is from our friend Fragments. He has been, anybody who's part of our community knows who Fragments is. He's an excellent model designer. And right now he has got this beautiful model that we're getting bad audio, Peter says. Okay, let's see what's happening there. Audio should be good. Go back to stream, analytics. There we go. Is that any better? Did the audio come up? Did it not? Let's see what we can do here. Let's play around. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Let's take that down a little bit. There we go. That should be better. Is that any better, you guys? I hope so. All right, so this model is by Fragments. We've been back and forth on this, and there's the artwork on this. I like to call this the Goon and the Showgirl. He's taken a new riff on sort of the classic Universal monsters. He's got the Bride of Frankenstein, and of course Frankenstein sitting there. And I really like the way Frankenstein looks because he kind of looks like a mobster. And of course the bride looks like a showgirl. And wonderful model. If you guys are interested in this, let me know, and I will talk to Frag and see if we can't get you a link to where you can purchase this model. If not, you can reach out to him over on our Facebook page. That's the First Layer over on Facebook, and he will certainly get in touch with you and show you or tell you how you can obtain this model for yourself. I'm going to get one because I just absolutely love this style. You guys know me, I'm a big pinup fan. I really like the classic nature of this with the Universal monsters with a bit of a modern twist on it. So let's take a look. Jerry's not with us today. She's under the weather. I've been under the weather all week. So Jerry's not with us today, so I'm going to be here with you for the duration today. Let's see what we got going on in the chat. Happy Sunday. Turn your mic up, DeWitt says. Am I up now? I should be up now. Is everything coming through okay now, guys? Should be. Is that better? Worse? I should be better. Hello, hello. Better, better, better. Much better, much better. Okay, here we go. Better. Too much. Oh, that's much better. Audio bring up just a touch. There we go. For the deaf in the audience. My brother's not deaf. Believe me when I say that. My brother's not deaf. Okay. So hello to everybody in the chat today. I'm going to be looking at your chat, so if I miss something, please forgive me. I want to talk a little bit about clogging today. We all have suffered from this at some point in time in our 3D printing venture. And to be perfectly honest, clogging happens because of certain aspects. First and foremost, the hot end temperature is too low for the material that you're using. And there's some materials that are out there that I can tell you from my own experience, because of the way that they're made and the material that goes into making them, they have to be printed much hotter. And this is why I'm always saying print a calibration cube or a temperature tower, because if you don't, what you're going to run into is constantly clogging over and over and over again. The other reason that you might think you have a clog is because you're trying to push too much material through a very small opening. There's only so much back pressure that a hot end will take as you force that material through. And that's why sometimes you'll hear a clicking even in the middle of your print where you think it's starting to clog, and it really isn't. What's happening is that the material is being pushed in there too fast, and that goes to our flow rate. I'm going to be discussing all of these things in upcoming videos one by one, so you guys can systematically go through a list of things that might be causing your clogs. So TSWG Dynamics, hey, I'm having a problem with my 3D printer stepper motor. It won't work right. It spazzes out like it's jammed. It goes a couple of millimeters, then goes back like it's stuck. Please help. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Great question, by the way, TSWG. This is a great topic, because at the end of the day, why you're getting that, and I was getting it back here on the Lotmaxx SC-10 recently, and it's because of the material trying to get through a very small orifice. 0.4 millimeters is quite small, and if that material is flowing at 100 or 105 or 110%, chances are it's pushing the material too fast into that hot end. It's not melting enough. So you could try by turning up the heat on the material. That would be the first thing I would do, is increase it by 5 degrees. If the clicking doesn't go away, or it looks like it's jamming, and you're getting that spin back where you'll hear the click and you'll actually see it do this on the stepper motor. The other thing that you can do is reduce the flow. Now, what I would recommend is going over to Teaching Tech's GitHub page, where he's got a complete set of calibration tools there for you to use free of charge, and you can put in the extruded amount. So what you're going to do is you're going to mark your filament. Let's use this filament over here. We've got some PLA. This is from Reach. So this is a PLA. So what will happen is you're going to take this inside the hot end. You'll have it all set up. Your hot end will be nice and warm, right to the proper temperature that you normally print this material at. Then you're going to measure. So you're going to take a ruler of some sort. I don't have a ruler handy. Oh, yes, I do. So take a ruler. What you're going to do is you're going to mark off 120 millimeters, okay? 120, 150 millimeters, whatever you like. Don't go below those numbers. And then tell your machine to extrude 100 millimeters. Now, if your machine extrudes 100 millimeters, if you put in 120 or 150, you should have, measuring from the top of where the filament enters the top of the hot end, you're going to either have 20 or 50 millimeters left over. If you don't, chances are you're either not pushing enough or pushing too much. And usually the problem is that you're pushing too much if your extruder is backing off. Second thing that could cause this is being too close to the bed. If you're far too close to the bed, the filament has nowhere to go. It won't miraculously squeeze out the side. But if you're too close to the bed, all you're doing is you're wearing down that nozzle. And you don't want to wear those nozzles, especially if you've got a brass nozzle. Keep it in as good a shape as you possibly can. I always recommend that people go to a hardened steel nozzle. Just upgrade your nozzles. Yes, you need to print a little bit hotter with hardened steel than you do with brass. But at the end of the day, you're not going to wear that tip nearly as fast. Thank you, Sam. It's great to be back, actually. Do it. Everybody's saying hi to everybody else. Dominic, I have a Bowden printer, Ender 5. I'm upgrading to a Slice Engineering bimetal heat break. Are there any potential clogging issues to watch out for? If you're upgrading to that type of heat break, my question to you is, first of all, why? Secondly, you're going to have to bring that heat up a little bit more than you normally would. If your Bowden tube is not going all the way down, and I've got a piece of black Bowden tube here, if your Bowden tube is not going all the way down into the block like it does on the Creality hot ends, and the same thing for this Lotmaxx back here, you'll find that if it goes down too far, this stuff at certain temperatures will start to deform. And it will deform over time, especially if you do a lot of printing. So what you want to do is you want to make sure if the heat break that you've bought only brings it into the very top and that the rest of the path is all metal, you should be fine. What you're going to want to watch out for is make sure you have adequate cooling. Because if you don't have adequate cooling, you're going to run into clogging issues where it's going to retract back. It's going to get hot up in that heat break, and it's not going to dissipate like it should. So be aware of that. That's something to be very conscious of. Max CJ12345, he says, also TH3D has an online calculator for steps. I've seen it. I prefer the one from Michael Lee over at Teaching Tech. Not saying that there's anything wrong with it. I just like the way that Michael's is laid out. It's very simple and easy for people to use. Any downsides to tungsten carbide nozzles? Heat is the downside. You need to bring up the heat for normal printing. If you're printing PLA and you're normally printing at around 200, you may want to bring that up to 205, 210. If you're printing with Matter 3D, which is something that we print with here quite a bit, we've got to go a little higher. We're going to get into that 230 range, from 220 to 230. So that's something to be aware of. TSWG Dynamics. Okay, thanks, but it took apart and ran it, and it's still doing it with no filament, and it's not in its casing. Okay, so if it means you got a bad stepper, just replace the stepper. Or you could have a stepper driver that's bad, depending on, I know that the Creality ones don't have removable steppers, so I would probably say it could be either the stepper on the board or the stepper motor. Just get yourself another stepper motor, test it, and you'll know if it's the board or not. Because that can happen too. When the motor starts to click back, if it's been doing it for a long time, it will wear the motor. And then the motor will constantly do that. It doesn't matter what you do. But definitely check those things, and I think you'll be okay. If it's not the board, then it's the motor. So I would just replace the motor to start off with. Let's go. It's just not spinning. Okay. Check your wiring as well. That's another thing. Dominic Versetto, bimetal is all metal. Yes, it is all metal. All metal hot ends are still all metal. However, the difference between a good all metal hot end and a great all metal hot end, is the way that they're constructed. The ones that I use are micro Swiss typically on these. I don't have one on this one right now, but micro Swiss is one that you can definitely look into. It is a direct drop-in replacement. I really like their hot ends. I've never once had a jam on their hot ends. Retraction also plays a big part in whether you're getting a jam or a clog in your hot end as well. If you've got too much retraction, then you're pulling it way too far and you're pulling it into the cold zone. Typically on anything like from an E3D V6 to a Creality, I drop mine to about 0.3 or 3 millimeters, whatever it is on Cura. And I think that is a much better way to do things. If you experience that way too much, the other thing that you should watch out for is on the Creality hot ends, like this one here, the red ones, that, like I said, that Bowden tube goes all the way down into the heated zone. And while it's in that heated zone, what happens, I wish I had the big model. I'm going to download that big model. What happens with that is that Bowden tube pulls up a little bit, and then you've got a gap between the actual Bowden tube and the hot end, or the nozzle of the hot end. So what can happen is, stuff can cool in there, and then it just starts to build up and pool. And over time, you're going to get a clog, and there's nothing you can really do about that unless you get it all the way down in there and then put on that little clip on the retainer, which is at the top of your hot end. I should have actually plugged that in so we had another camera today. 3D Experiments actually has a great point here. He's asking, are you hearing a rattling sound? Sound like stepper motor might not be wired correctly. There are a pair of coils, and if they're wired wrong, they'll go against each other. That's true too, but if it's a stock motor on that cabling, then it should be fine. There you go. There's RT and Gary T. Welcome, gentlemen. Welcome. I want to let you know that we do have Super Chat turned on. We've got some interesting news to impart on you guys as well. Things are changing for us here. We're not changing location. We're staying right where we are. We're not going anywhere. And we are doing work with some companies now that is going to help the situation here. If you'd like and you want to help us out and keep this show going, we always have Super Chat turned on down at the bottom. So if we answered your question and you think you got something out of today's show, please, by all means, hit that Super Chat. It goes a long way. Again, I want to thank DeWitt 3D Canada for putting together the GoFundMe to help us get through the dark time that we had. We're still raising money for that. Gainful employment is not going to kick in for another few weeks. So if you would so like to, I would really appreciate it. I appreciate all you guys anyway. We got a small audience today, but we only have 6 likes. So go ahead, hit that like button if you're getting something out of today. Leave us a comment after the show, and let's get back to what people are saying. DeWitt says, you're staying in town? Yay! Awesome. Yes, I'm staying in town. I'm not going anywhere. Ben Brady, hey, I still not received my mystery box. No, the mystery boxes have not gone out. As you know, we had some issues here. They're all sitting over on Jerry's desk. Once we get some funds, we'll send them all out. We do have everybody's address, and we have everybody's box ready to go. We just need to have the funds to send them out to you. So please bear with us. Max CJ12345, he says, to prevent that Bowden tube movement, you also can get the upgraded couplers with more teeth in them than the originals from Creality. That's true, you can, and it's something that I would also recommend that you do. There's little things that you can do to your 3D printer to tune it. And this also goes back to working with your slicer. Your slicer can be tuned to work with your printer perfectly. I watched a video recently. Hey, Mike Brown. I watched a video recently from a company out of the U.S. And they were talking all about profiles. There is no one perfect profile for any printer. And my experience has shown that to be correct. You're always going to be fiddling a little bit. You start with a stock profile. It's a great place to start, but then you're going to start to change things. You're going to see if your flow is too much or too little. You're going to, check and see how fast it can print, or how you get the best detail and how slow you can print with it. So these are all things that I would certainly recommend that you look into. We're going to be doing videos on all of this stuff. It's time that we got back to doing what we do best, and that's teaching you how to overcome your problems. And I'm sure a lot of people will agree with you on that, or agree with me on that. Being able to do and get through your 3D printing problems is a lot less stress than trying not to do it. Or just letting it go and getting frustrated with it. And I've seen far too many people that have come into this hobby over the 5-6 years that I've been doing it, that get really frustrated really fast. And I know those lights in the background are going like this. They get brighter and they get not so bright. I got to fix that. So I apologize. It's a little distracting to me too. Compression fittings. Yes, they are called compression fittings. My Ender 6 keeps doing the brim, then things go left fast in a triangle. I've been doing the Luke Hadfield, still not working my clue. Any clue? That's from Joshua. So after it does the brim, it doesn't do the print. Is the print failing? It could have something to do with the STL file. Not all STL files are created equally, and the reason for that is because inexperienced modelers like myself may not understand how to make a model watertight for 3D printing. There's a lot of great artists out there, but where the disconnect becomes is if they want to make it into a model. And I worked with a modeling or a company out of Saskatchewan for a while, helping them with yours. And you guys might remember that was the where is she? I had her on my table here. She's gone now. The Poison Ivy. I worked with that company to help them to get those STLs ready for printing, and make sure that there weren't too many overhangs, too small a detail, things like that. But their artist had never made STLs from his work before, so it was, it was one of those things that, you have to understand where you go from a three-dimensional object on your computer to a three-dimensional rebuild project on your printer. So as designers, they don't always create models equally, and that's why when you pull into things like Cura, you're going to find that it may say the mesh is not good, or the STL is not watertight. Do you want me to fix the mesh? And you can go ahead and fix the mesh. Tangle. Sorry, autocorrect kills me. Is borosilicate glass worth it? Yes. On this printer behind me is borosilicate glass. This printer came with one of those flex mats and magnets, the magnetic flex mats. I hate those damn things. I think they are garbage. They're made to be a consumable, so you have a little bit of play when you're bringing your nozzle down when you're printing, so you can dig into them a little bit. But if you dig into them, it's really tough to get that print off, even if it's cooled. The other thing is that at certain temperatures, they don't stick. They lose their magnetic adhesion. So if your bed has to be up around 80, 90, 100, then chances are after about 80 degrees, they're going to start slipping. And then you'll notice that you've got layer adhesion problems and layer shifts that happen. So yes, I think of borosilicate glass, and if you are going to do borosilicate, please get yourself some glue stick. This is one of my favorite adhesion methods. I think it works the best. There are other commercial adhesion methods out there. I don't ever recommend hairspray. I think hairspray is the worst thing that you could put on your printer bed. So don't do hairspray. Please don't do hairspray. It's a pain in the ass to get off, and it is one of those things that really just avoid. Stay away from your wife's hairspray. Joshua Hall, let's see. Joshua Null. Joshua Null. He says, Tangles, sorry. Autocorrect kills me. He says, no, it's tangling up. Okay, I've tried different prints. I usually get done. So what I'm going to ask you, Joshua, is it tangling on the reel, or is it tangling in the line going to the hot end? That's something I would really like to know. Dominic Bracetto says 3D Builder and Blender do a good job of repairing models. Yes, they absolutely do. And I believe that they are both free. So Autodesk makes Blender, I believe. No, they make Mesh Mixer. Pardon me. They make Mesh Mixer. Mesh Mixer is another one that you can use, and it is free to download. Max CJ12345 is saying that spring steel or spring steel sheet, PEI or glass is his go-to, and I like the spring steels. I think they work well. I also like glass. I think it works very well. Borosilicate glass is going to be a lot flatter. Just getting back to that for a moment. Borosilicate glass, like I said, it's going to be a lot flatter, a lot more true. So when you put it on your bed, it's not going to conform to the bed like a magnetic bed surface can. The other thing about borosilicate glass is that it is made to handle heat. So with some binder clips, you attach it to your bed, you're all set to go. Windows 3D Builder repairing STLs. That's what it is. Ben Brady's saying. Okay. Hey, there's Rex Waldy. Hello, sir. Hello. Welcome to the show. There we go. Likes are coming up. We're going to stay on for the whole hour today. DeWitt 3D says, I love the BQ Sprint steel plates on my E3D V2s. They work well. I like the steel plates. I've got a couple of BQ plates. I really like them. They do very well. And, you know, again, when it comes to bed adhesion, when you're using a spring steel, especially a textured one, never, ever, ever, please don't put any type of adhesion method on that, because you're only going to ruin that surface. Those surfaces are not made to have anything put on them. Now, there are some commercial adhesions that you can put on, adhesion methods that you can put on those textured spring steel PEI sheets, but it really isn't necessary. I think the only time that you're going to do that is if you're using the smooth side of PEI and you're putting something like PETG, for instance. PETG needs to have something to stick to. Don't try and put it right onto glass. Don't try and put it right onto the smooth PEI, because what's going to happen is it's going to grab that and it's never going to let go. If it does let go, it's going to take either chunks of your borosilicate glass or it's going to take chunks out of that PEI. And I've seen it and I've done it, so I know how that works. So when you are printing with something like PETG on your bed, on the smooth PEI, a little bit of glue stick works just great. And the same thing on glass. I use glue stick all the time on glass, regardless of what material I'm using. I like to have that barrier because when it cools down, it pops off. Here is a piece that I recently made. This is a file that you can find on Thingiverse, and you're probably wondering what it is. Well, it actually is a Bowens mount. And for those of you guys that are into photography or movie making, you'll know what a Bowens mount is. It has 3 tabs. It slots into your light. You turn it, it clicks in, it locks in. So you can use things like soft boxes. Speaking of which, I happen to have a soft box right here. So what these do, I'm just going to open this up so I can get my hand in there. So what this does is you can mount it on the wall, okay? And then you can see the 3 tabs there. You just line up the tabs and you give it a spin to lock it in. Now, I probably didn't get all of the stuff out, but what the idea is that that's going to hold it onto the wall. So if you have a small studio at home, there we go. If you have a small studio at home, and you don't want to take down your soft boxes all the time, I'm just going to put that one down there. You don't want to take down your soft boxes all the time because you're afraid that maybe you'll bend something the wrong way. This is a great little tool. I'm going to be going into a whole lot more on useful 3D prints again for a variety of different applications for, first of all, starting with photography. There's a lot of great photography STLs out there, and if you're a photographer like myself, I used to do photography professionally. If you're like myself, you have soft boxes and you have lights and you have all kinds of stuff. And these come in real handy because now I can just take them. If I'm not using it, I can put it on the wall. And I've actually printed a few of these. So they work really well. The other thing that I've been working on is this little guy. And what is that, you're saying? Well, this is a replica of the panel that you see in Star Trek Enterprise. It's the one that they do all of their intercom stuff on. So I designed that, and it's still a work in progress. Let's go through here real quick. I just want to check out all the messages, make sure I haven't forgetting anything. Sheldon Grant, new member for only a few months. Is the Discord active, and how do I get on it? Thank you. The Discord is active. Brian is on a little bit of a break. I have to get all of the information from him. So when I do, I will be on the Discord. And I will let everybody know how to get on the Discord. So bear with me on that one, okay? 3D Hub PEI plates work great and are dual-sided. One side smooth, the other side textured. That's from Max CJ. DeWitt 3D Canada says, the only thing I put on them is a nanopolymer adhesive. Guarantees adhesion for PLA. And corners never lift. Great idea. Good morning, Rover. Welcome, welcome. Ben E. Brady says, Vision Miner is the cat's ass. Vision Miner is another channel. And that particular channel is all about high temp industrial grade plastics. So they're going to be talking about carbon fiber. They're going to be talking about nylon carbon fiber. All of these really strong types of filaments. If you really want to know a lot about them, go check out the Vision Miner YouTube channel. Dominic, I use Smooth PEI with Vision Miner's nanopolymer. Works great for PLA, PETG, and TPU. Yes, Vision Miner is also a company that sells products. Gary T says, ooh, Bowen's mount, you say. Yes, a Bowen's mount. I have several soft boxes that use Bowen's mounts. I have several soft boxes that are like giant umbrellas. You can do a lot with them. There's some things I'm printing now for some skits coming up on the show. And you guys will see all those when they come out. Ben says, I print light diffusers with the plan for my key light for my streaming setup. Oh, that's very cool. Don't forget to hit that like button. Accord XTC says, let's show TFL the love. Thank you very much. Rover, I looked at Thingiverse for toilet flappers. Only 3. LOL. Mine leaks. Toilet flappers. You're better off... in all honesty, I wouldn't print a toilet flapper out of PETG or any of those other ones because they are rubber material. You could probably use TPU. That might work. But remember that when you're printing with TPU, you're not always getting a perfect airtight seal. So you may have some air moving through there. I would just go buy one. They're only like $5 or $10. Yeah, TPU print, he says. Okay, so TPU, go to Walmart for the toilet flappers. There you go. Go to Walmart for the toilet flappers. They're pretty cheap. And they are pretty cheap there. One of the things that I got coming up, you probably saw this earlier. This is a Raspberry Pi. This Raspberry Pi is going to be put onto that machine. And we're going to run Clipper on this. So we're going to see if we can't do a Clipper install on there using the PC that you see right here. This is just basically this is an old workstation. I put some RAM in it, put a hard drive in it. We've got it working right now. It's not great. It's not super fast, but it works for this kind of stuff. We're using Clipper. buy them. It's for a heavy use item in your home. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Just go out and buy a toilet flapper. There are certain things you can do on a 3D printer that may work great. You print the toilet handle. I mean, if you want to print the toilet handle, why not? I mean, they're only plastic anyway. They're usually ABS. So make sure you, you know, if you want to do a toilet, you can do a toilet. Do a toilet flapper. I got to clean up the back again. Boy, I got all kinds of stuff all over the place. Yeah, new episodes coming up very, very soon. Again, this past week was just nuts for me. I think I had migraines 3 days out of the whole week, and then I just felt run down after I came home from the photo shoot last weekend, and I just But now, starting to feel a little bit better. I'm still got that whether I want to eat or not, and no, before anybody asks, it's not COVID. I checked. It's not COVID. I'm not COVID positive. So, I'm just getting old. Things are starting not to work as well as they used to. So yes, getting back to what we got coming up on the show, we've got more how-tos coming up, more troubleshooting, more teaching for you guys to learn how to get the best prints possible. Okay, this is a good example of not a great print. You can't see it because it's in black, but you'll see where it's scraping across the top, and that's because the nozzle is just a little bit too low. Accord XTC just finished, hooked up my Octopi to the Home Assistant, and it's automated to turn off and on. So cool, very nice. Accord, I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about that. Maybe we can do a video on that, because I've got the Google Home here, and I've got two of them, so I could possibly use one. Dominic, I have a habit of spending 12 hours or more printing stuff I could have bought at the dollar store. Yes. That's the thing. You have to look at, why do I want to print it? If I have a 3D printer, so okay, I need a light switch cover because the kids broke it or whatever. It just got brittle over time. So do I go and buy one, or do I print one? If I want something cool, I'm going to print it, right? So if I want like a light side, dark side kind of one that we've seen so many times on places like Thingiverse and My Mini Factory, yeah, that's cool. But you're not going to do that for every light switch in the house. You're going to do that for one, maybe two light switches in the house. There's so many different things that you can print, but some things are not practical. If you guys have watched, and I'm sure everybody in the chat today has watched the video that I did way back when we started the channel, useful 3D prints, and in there was a scraper for scraping your windows in the winter to get the ice off. I printed it out of PLA. Wrong material to use for starters. Secondly, it took probably 8 to 12 hours to print, if I remember right. And it just snapped after the first use. So was it the right material? No. Could I have bought one for quicker in less time? Yes. Would it have cost me a ton of money? Probably about 10, 15 bucks. Not a ton of money. Would it have been easier for me to go to Canadian Tire or Walmart and grab one? Yeah, it probably would have been, instead of using up all that electricity and using up that filament. But it's still considered a useful gadget, and there's lots of useful things that you can do. Like we've only scratched the surface in terms of 3D printing and what we can do with our 3D printers. And there's so much more out there. I mean, there's new models every day going up on Thingiverse and My Mini Factory and Cults and Thangs. I noticed that Thangs does propagate to other websites like Thingiverse. So if it's not on Thangs, Thangs will give you a list of where it might be, which is great. Yeah, okay. Cord saying, let's get back to to this. He says, for sure, love to help in any way. He says, I'll send you an email and connect with you when you're free. Great. That's excellent. Ben says, it's a balancing act. Do I spend money on gasoline to go to Walmart, or do I spend it on filament? And at the price of gas today, gas prices are going through the roof. You may want to just print it, but this stuff is getting more expensive too. Some sites are still discounting it while they can, because and there's lots of places in the States that are looking for filament that just happen to be out because it's just tough with everything going on over in the EU with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And I'm not going to get into politics here, but I support the Ukraine on this. And, you know, this is causing economics to go through the roof. So things are more expensive now. Gas has gone up dramatically. Other things are going to go up that are petroleum based as well. Plastics being one of those. So just watch out for that. But you can't buy one with your logo on it, LOL. DeWitt says, yes, you can't buy you can't buy anything that's got your logo on it unless you make it. Raymond Cleveland, he says, my screen on my Ender 5 is going spastic on me. Any ideas? Is it going in and out? Is it flicking on and off? Is it giving you weird characters? If it's giving you any of that stuff, I would contact where you bought it from. And if it's ComGrow on Amazon, then I would get in touch with ComGrow, just let them know the problem that you're having. And usually, because that's still under warranty, they will send you a brand new one. And they'll probably ask you to do a couple questions and take some pictures. But yeah, they should send you out a new one. Electrical noise on the display cable, that's a good possibility as well. I've not seen it a lot. I've seen it sometimes, but it usually doesn't happen. Usually there's something more difficult going on, a deeper problem going on. The cable could be pinched, or you just could have a bad display. RT says, sometimes you print something just because you can. Yes. Yes. So Raymond says he's getting snow. I would then get in touch with who you bought it from, let them know what's happening, take some pictures, send them off to them, and usually they'll send you a brand new display. And you've got the Ender 5, so yeah, I think I might even have one if they don't send you one, Ray. Just let me know. Ray's my brother. For anybody who doesn't know, Raymond Cleveland is my brother, my older brother. I'm the youngest. I'm the baby of the family. But I'm also the biggest in the family, I think. Yeah, I think I am. Round and tall. Okay. Oh, we got to thank some people. We got to thank Matter 3D for the filament that they continually supply us with. So check out Matter 3D at matter3d.com. We're working on a way that you guys know there's no snow in Calgary. Not right now. But yeah, we're working on a way for you guys to, especially you guys in the States that want to get a hold of some of it. We're waiting on a code or some sort of link that will get you in there, and then they'll know that you came from the first layer. And it helps out the first layer. Okay? Yes, Raymond's the better looking one out of all of us. I'll agree with that 100%. So the other thing I want to thank the fine folks over at who is that? Mars Hydro. Mars Hydro has everything that you need for your indoor horticultural needs, from tents to lights to extraction systems, and all the stuff in between. Check them out today at marshydro.com if you are looking to get your plants started for the year. It's a great way to incubate your plants in the house before you put them out into your garden. So check them out and give them some love, and just tell them that the First Layer sent you. We don't have a discount code from them. We don't have another code. I just have to mention them every week. So there you go. Now, wow, we've sailed through 45 minutes already. My goodness. Coming up, like I was saying earlier, I want to get back to giving you guys the best information that I can. It's been a while since we've been able to go back and do that. Is Jerry on? Jerry's not online. Jerry is not feeling well. She's laying down. So I will pass that along to her, Ben. I actually looked over to see if she was in her chair, and she's not. So it's pretty dark in here right now. But we are staying where we are. We're not moving. The studio is going to get a little bit of a cleanup and a revamp so that we can better do videos. And you guys will see sometimes I'm going to be away doing photography. I'm taking that up again because I think that I miss it. For one, I miss it. Going out and doing the portrait photography that I was doing last weekend, I really miss doing photography. And to me, it's creating art. Much like 3D printing, it's creating art. I'm going to be doing a project where I have this guy right here. I found him in amongst my stuff, and you guys might recognize him. He's Captain Kirk from the original Star Trek. This was given to me by a special effects company that were doing a mini movie. They had this guy sitting in I guess a dollar box, and I saw him there, and I said, "You want $1 for him?" He goes, "Well, what can you tell me about him?" I said, "Well, this is Captain Kirk, and I know the Mego bodies quite well, so this is what they call a Type 2 body." These bodies are available on the internet. You can find bodies like this on the internet, so you can make your own action figures. Now, what I'm doing back here is I'm printing out Captain Kirk's chair so that Captain Kirk can sit in the chair. And I'm going to make a little bit of a box, a lighted box. It'll look really cool when it's done. And you guys will be able to follow along when we've got all the parts printed. I'll show you some of what we're printing, and we'll go from there. I'm happy that you are finding that passion again. Thank you very much. Just like to acknowledge her hard work. Yes, Jerry does a lot of hard work around here. She does a lot of the research now because I just don't have time to do it. With everything that's on my plate, she takes care of a lot of the research. She's starting to write some of the new, pardon me, some of the new scripts that we'll be using for upcoming videos, and there's a lot going on. So stick around, please continue to be a member, and we're going to get all the membership stuff sorted out very soon, and all the prize giveaway stuff sorted out very soon, as soon as we've got a few dollars more coming in, and we're not scrambling every month. Wrong color shirt. I sent, well made though. Wrong color shirt. No, that's the right color shirt. Or on him, I don't know. Peter Reynolds with a super chat. Thanks for all you do, Richard. Thank you very much for the $20. It does go a long way to helping out the channel and keeping it going. Join him and help us to keep this channel going, because this is how it happens. Now that I'm doing work for other companies, it's and I can't tell you who I'm working with. Oh, the shirt on Kirk. That's just the way the Mego ones came. I can't do anything about that. But yes, working now, being able to start working again, doing what I love, 3D printing, talking about 3D printing, teaching 3D printing, is something that I very much enjoy doing, and I'm doing work for different companies now that will allow me to stay in this field, but will help to keep the lights on and keep the bills paid. And then it falls on our members and people who watch the show. You don't have to be a member. It helps. Believe me, it helps. But if you just watch the episodes and you go ahead and you turn, watch the episode all the way through and just let if you've got ads just let them play, because that helps us with our metrics. It helps us get seen by more people. Leaving a comment, leaving a like on the videos does help us tremendously as well. So, oh, Mark Baker is late, but I'm here now. He says hi again, all. Hi, Mark Baker. I have to get together with Mark for coffee. I haven't had coffee with Mark in several years, but because I'm not over at Spool 3D anymore. But yeah, it definitely, definitely have to get together with Mark. Ben Brady says, yeah, and food in the cupboard. Yes, food in the cupboard. Having a steady source of income does certainly help, and having this show to help you guys definitely helps as well. I love doing this for you guys, and I love coming on live and helping you with your questions, and we are going to do a lot more of this coming forward. We're going to get back into why do these things happen and how can you correct them. And we're going to be doing stuff for other people as well. So thank you for being members. Thank you for being subscribers, and thank you for being part of our Facebook group. If you are, if you're not, you should head over. Some people can't get on Facebook. I understand that, but is Tim streaming tonight? I don't know. Tim, are you streaming tonight? DeWitt 3D should be streaming. Kelly Avery, hello from Amarillo, Texas. Nice to see you guys. Nice to see you as well. DeWitt is going to be streaming tonight. I won't be streaming tonight, and I probably won't be on DeWitt's stream tonight because I've got lots to do around here. I'm still working on some helmets as a commission before the Calgary Expo takes place, and that's coming up real quick in the next few weeks. So I have to have all those done by the end of the week. DeWitt's going to be putting on the Revo on his Ender 3 V2, so the Revo hot end from E3D. I'll have to watch that afterwards. And there you go. People are talking about where they are. So with that said, you guys, I'm not going to miss it this time, but I do want to tell you that we've got some new episodes coming up, and we're working very hard. Jerry and I are working hard to get some content put together for you guys. So we're going to do that real soon here, and we'll be back on track with our regular weekly show and our regular weekend live stream. And yeah, so we're going to be producing a lot of stuff coming out of here, and a lot of good projects coming up. We've got the PETG now in-house to do our hydroponic system, to show you that you can make this for very little. And why do we want to do stuff with horticulture? Because I want to test things. I want to test plastics, and I want to see how they stand up. So we're going to do a very cool thing. I'm actually going to be printing a 38 special on the show here very soon. For anybody that doesn't understand what 38 special is, it is a snub nose gun that you see in all the old noir detective movies. We're going to be using that on an upcoming photo shoot that I'm going to be doing, and I thought it would be cool to print one because of course you can't get them. It doesn't work, so nobody has to get all up in arms that it's something that could be considered a weapon. It is not. It is a stunt or prop gun, and we're going to be using it in some upcoming photo shoots that I'm working on. Andrew, hi from Washington State. Hello. Hi from Alberta. The Shop the First Layer website, I should let you guys know, is becoming defunct. We are going to roll everything into our First Layer website, so t-shirts and things that we are available to sell will be selling over on our own website, which is just thefirstlayer.com. We're going through some integration. Jerry's got to do some catch up on getting some of the past videos up on there, but we will be doing that, and that's pretty much it. He's not. No, I'm not going to be another Alec Baldwin, believe me. This is completely 3D printed, and then I'm going to finish it and paint it and make it look like a real snub-nosed 38 for the photos. The photos that we're doing is kind of a noir poker theme. So it's going to be really cool, and maybe I'll be able to show you some of those pictures. The new Ghostbusters, as you guys know, has been out for quite some time. We're going to be showing you a prop from that movie, and I'll show you how to print it. I cannot give away the STLs, but I will show you it, and I'll even reference what scene it's in the movie. And I was fortunate enough to be given the job to print the original prototypes for the prop, and my good friend Ben Eady worked on Ghostbusters Afterlife, and a lot of it was shot here in Alberta, and he was a good guy to bring it to me because he had problems printing it, so I printed it for him, and you'll see it in the movie. I don't have a credit. But until I see you guys next time, right here on the first layer, please remember that the first layer is always your foundation to a great print. We're going to end a few minutes early today, and we will see you guys next time right here on YouTube and the first layer. Take care, you guys. We'll see you next time.